Baby hits 88 miles per hour. You're gonna see some serious shit.
That's so fucking rad, dude.
What is going on, dude?
I'm so stoked to be here with you, man. This is cool as hell. That was awesome.
Man, that took me a long time to make that. Let a little bit of section right there, and I'm so new to all this. All right, so today I'm joined by none other than Ken Sledge himself from Sledgehammer Horror. Now, I'm sure most people that are going to watch this live are from his channel, but as most of you might even know, he is a horror strictly channel. He doesn't get to talk about a lot of different genre films, and funny enough, even though he's strictly horror, his favorite film of all time is
Back to the Future, baby.
Yeah. So the way I'm going to basically do all this is I just got a couple of questions I'm going to ask you, kind of like a personal Q&A, and then we'll go. I have some talking points I want to hit, and we'll kind of give, I guess, a breakdown review style, just a banner back and forth.
Yeah.
And then we'll go into some other stuff later. Real quick, let me check here.
And chat, if you are here from Sledgehammer Horror, please make sure you're going to Hayden Cinema. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. That way you can get to know him a little bit before his My First Horror Movie episode comes out here in a couple weeks. So we got to work together on that. And then, we started talking about Back to the Future. And he's like, dude, I'd love to have you on. And I was like, dude, you have no idea. Like, I would love to come on your show and talk about it. So very excited for this opportunity.
Oh, me too, dude. I've been looking forward to this all week. I think I'm going to expand this. That way I can actually get in it. I will be checking the chat throughout, just not as frequent. I want to kind of stay on topic and get this going smoothly. But I appreciate all of you watching. So, see, how old were you when you first saw this film, or best in memory at least, and what was like your first experience? Did you see it in the theater?
No, I was at home. Back when I was a wee lad, a movie would go to cinema and then it wouldn't be out on video for a while, but luckily I was old enough when this had come out and I was able to actually see this as soon as I saw the picture in the video store. I saw the cover, and I had heard about the movie so much, Back to the Future, Back to the Future, and I finally got to actually watch it. And I believe it was a friend at school, and they was telling me about how great Back to the Future was, and everybody wanted to talk to me about movies because my parents owned a video store. So I finally was just like, let's check it out. And it blew me away. Like, this movie, because it had everything I loved in it. Like, it has time travel. It's a love story. It's hilarious. I've played guitar since I was, since I can remember. I've had a guitar in my hand. And so seeing him play guitar, and huge fan of Earth Angel by the Platters, by the Penguins. Even before this movie, I've always had a huge love for that song. And it's just, everything about this movie impressed me so much. And to this day, it's still, like I said, my favorite movie of all time.
It's a really good one. One thing I wanted to say about it was, me and a buddy of mine at work was even talking about it today. This film is timeless, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, I think anybody from any generation, no matter how many years later it gets, we can all sit down and watch this film and, have the same love for it as someone did when they first saw the film when it first came out. And you can go, 50 years from now, whenever they watch the movie, they're still going to love this movie. Like, this movie doesn't. It obviously has a time element into it, especially like the 80s and the time before. But I don't know. I think it holds up very well. I don't think it depreciates any way.
No, dude, it still holds up so well. Like, it still looks great. It's, with the exception of, Bruce the Shark in Jaws 2, or in Back to the Future 2, like, it holds up so well. And like you said, the movie is still, I think, someone can watch it today and they'll still get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not one of those movies where they'll watch and be like, what did people see in this movie? Why did people like this movie so much?
Exactly. It holds up, and one second. But yeah, no, it holds up completely, and that's like I know people my age that this is their favorite film. Now, me personally, I guess I have kind of a neutral take on the movie where I do love it. It's not one of my favorites. I even told you that.
Yep.
I mean, it's one of my favorites, I guess, in like a top 50, top 100 or something, but it's not near my top 10. Um, and there are very few movies that I would ever say is a perfect film, almost objectively. Subjectively, there's many movies that are perfect to someone. I think this is the perfect movie for you. But
It
I will
really
say,
is.
this movie does have a perfect objective view to it in a sense that it's not maybe not perfect on paper, but it's the most perfect feeling movie.
Hmm.
That like any emotion you may feel if you're actually watching the film, it's on purpose. It
Yeah.
makes you fully engaged. It's one of the most engaging films. The editing in this film is
Top
magnificent.
notch.
It's dude, especially since I've been getting into it here recently. And when I watched it again, I was like, wow. What did you think about it?
Well, it's one of those movies where it just seems it's hard to differentiate a movie like this that's been my favorite for such a long time. So it's hard to go into this with a critical lens. But like it just seems like this is such a seamless movie. You could tell that they worked really hard on this, and then like you go to part 2 and part 3, and they filmed those at the same time, obviously, and split them up.
Right.
You know, and I remember watching part 2 for the first time, and at the very end seeing, to be continued in part 3, and I'm like, whoa, like that blew my mind as a kid, because I had never seen anything like that in my whole life. I had never seen them already promoting another movie at the end of the movie I was just watching. Like, I had never seen anything like that. And, like I said, we'll talk more about 2 and 3 as well, obviously, because I want to touch on the franchise a little bit. But the only thing to me that can make this movie, like, the absolute perfect movie ever was if there was a little bit more horror elements to it. Obviously, as a horror fan, that's something that I would look for a little bit. But it's still just like, it's my favorite movie, so I'm not trying to take away from it.
Right.
Like I think that it's if I hear the theme song, I'm automatically transported back to watching this movie on my couch as a little kid. And I just think that I don't think that anybody, like, I've seen videos of I can't think of his name, forgive me, but the guy that originally was playing Marty, and I don't think the movie would have succeeded as well had he done it. I think all the pieces had to fall into place for this movie to be perfect, from casting, everything, and it did. It did. I don't think anybody, you could add or subtract anybody from this movie, and it would have had the same impact. That's how special I think this movie is.
The one that had the Marty role was the director's kid, wasn't it? Zemeckis.
It might have been, because I know that. God, who
There was also some political stuff to do with that too, where they had,
Eric Stoltz was originally cast, and I've seen videos of Eric Stoltz doing it, and I'm like, ugh, it just does not look good. Zemeckis felt Stoltz's performance was too serious, and that's exactly it. Like, Eric Stoltz,
okay, yeah, my fault.
great actor, but it wouldn't have worked for me.
Yeah, this is actually something that I learned yesterday with Stoltz. Because, like I said, I've liked the movie. I've watched it. Honestly, not very many times. Probably the first time I seen this film was I was in, I think, 7th grade, I believe, and I was sharing a room with my brothers, and I was grounded a lot too, so I was always in my bedroom, like I couldn't read anything, and I didn't have a phone or a tablet or anything like that, so all I had was my cable TV that my parents paid for, and it came on one night, and funny enough, I seen this and Rambo First Blood for the very first time when I was in 7th grade on cable, and that was the craziest double feature I think I've had to this day.
Sure.
But I really did like this movie. I think I told people it was my favorite movie ever because I really did dig it. But then I never really rewatched it many times. And the more I rewatch it, the more I can appreciate it. But I have fallen a little out of love with it. Because almost like the rewatchability for my taste personally, it's a little bit rougher. I don't like I said, I don't really
Sure.
watch a whole lot. But as far as the impact it had on me when I first seen it, it's definitely I'd say maybe in my top 50 movies ever. Where or if you could pick anything that you might have mixed, a little bit of critical thinking towards this movie, if anything mixed or negative, what could you say about this movie?
Um, I'm trying to think because, like I said, this is one movie that like this and Pee Wee's Big Adventure, I think, are the only two movies to me that are just like absolutely from front to back perfect. That I don't think that there's any issue. And like I said, the only real criticism I have, which is an unfair criticism, is I wish it had more horror elements. But again, if that happened, maybe the movie wouldn't have been what it is now. You know what I mean? Like maybe it wouldn't be what it is. And I'm not gonna lie though, man. As a kid, the scene did scare me when Marty came from the planet Vulcan and he was gonna, scramble his brains. Like that did freak me out as a kid. I don't. Maybe if we could have got a little bit more George McFly. Maybe that would have made me a little happier. I'm a huge Crispin Glover fan, so maybe that would have done it. But again, I just feel like butterfly effect. If we would have changed one thing, how many things would have been changed, and maybe it wouldn't be what it is to me right now. I still think one of the funniest Back to the Future facts of all time. Disney was pitched this movie and they turned it down. Disney was like, "There's no way we'll buy this movie. It's way too edgy. The implications of incest between the mother and son, we will not do that. That will not work." Yeah, how'd that work out for you, Disney?
Yeah.
The original pitch to this movie was done to Disney, and another thing I can strongly recommend if you guys don't get the 4K, get the Blu-rays, and watch the behind the scenes and the bloopers. You'll see some of the funniest things ever. Like there's a scene in the movie. I want that one, by the way, where they're in the car and they're drinking alcohol, Marty and his mom, and he takes a drink and he spits it everywhere because it was actually alcohol in the container, and they didn't tell him. They didn't tell Michael J. Fox that they put real liquor in there. And it's one of the funniest scenes, man. Like Ashley and I used to watch the deleted scenes and the bonus features and stuff on the DVDs or Blu-rays that we had, and it's just that you could tell they had so much fun on set making this movie. And can we also add, what better day to do this than today on Back to the Future Day?
That's why I picked it.
Like
it hit me immediately. The one thing I remember, especially, so funny. There was so much about this movie that hit me because I think I watched it in October. It was 2015, and I was in class one day, and my buddy was like, "Hey, do you know what October 21st is?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Back to the Future Day." I said, "How was that?" And he said, that's where Doc goes. He goes to October 21st, 2015. So whenever I asked him, that immediately came to my head. I was like, "Yep, October 21st."
The perfect day to do this, man.
Yeah, I think you couldn't have done better. I mean, maybe doesn't he go to October 26th at some point?
Maybe later. Because like I said, I don't know. I'll be completely honest. I don't know part 2 and 3 as well as I know part 1.
Right. I didn't even watch 2 and 3. I've seen 2 once and I've seen 3 once, and it was around when I watched this one for the first time. This is the only one I've ever went back and rewatched.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you wish you could add horror elements, and I was kind of thinking, yeah, probably because you run a horror channel. If it had horror elements, you might sneak that in there, and it might be able to talk about your favorite movie.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad we're getting to do this. How often do you rewatch this, or if you do at all, how often do you do it?
Oh yeah, once a month, once every other month, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, like this is a movie that especially if I'm editing a very long episode, I'll throw this on for background noise. I'll just throw it on and I'll listen to it, and because especially when we have very, very long episodes where I'm doing a lot of different audio work and stuff like that, and I'm stressed, this is my cleanse, my comfort. This is 100% my comfort film. This is the film I'll put on if I'm in a pissed off mood, or it's just one of those movies where I just think it's comforting just to hear everything about it. The power of love. Like I hear that and I'm like, comfort. Yes, I love it. So yeah, I'll be conservative and say 10 times a year.
I envy that so much because I don't think there's any movie that. Oh man, you got me questioning like how much do I love movies? I don't have a movie like that. I got comfort movies. I got movies that are endlessly rewatchable. I just don't watch them for some reason, even though I have most of them. Like Idle Hands, I think Idle Hands and Friday. I think those are like two of the most rewatchable movies ever made. Endlessly rewatchable. Never get tired.
He gonna cry in the car.
Right. But I don't ever put anything on like that. And even my
No.
favorite movie, which is like I'm Legend or Whiplash, I hardly ever watch them. So I don't know. That's probably a me thing, man.
Well, this comes back to like being in a band. We used to have a studio, like a recording studio at my mom's house, like our own little homemade recording studio. And the Back to the Future, we had a VHS TV where they were like I don't know if you guys remember, they had a combination. It was a VHS TV combination where your VCR TV combination where your VCR was built right into your TV. And when a movie would end on that, it would stop, rewind, and play the movie again. And when we would record, we would just, for days at a time, let Back to the Future play. And, while we were doing sound stuff, like we'd just be sitting there, watching Back to the Future while we're going. And so, I mean, like I said, I think that's another reason, like from a kid up until even now, like when I'm stressed or if I'm doing something that's a lot of work, some people listen to music. I can't do that because I get so into the music that I can't focus on what I'm doing. But Back to the Future I can put on and just vibe, and watch while I'm doing that.
Yeah, like I said, I envy that. What is maybe is it something that whenever you watch it, do you pick something up, like something new up from it every time, or is there like maybe a new angle you look at it from? Was there ever a point where you watched this movie and maybe something didn't sit right with you, but then you watched it again and it fixed? I don't know.
No, it's one of those things where like I think every time we watch a movie, we're always going to pick up a little bit something new. I mean, and there's still times where I'll watch this and we'll just belly laugh, man. Like I love the part when he's hiding in the office from the principal and gets his hand crushed. Like that's something to me that will always make me laugh. And then
maybe he's genius with his comedy. How everything that, like, it would be so easy for someone to literally take this script and write it, and then tell somebody, "Hey, act this out and make it funny," and it would come off like a spoof. Like it's, I said this the other day in my review, like when like kind of like doing accents. Whenever you do a Southern accent like mine, it's very easy to mock it or to make fun of.
sure.
Like that's the kind of humor and dialogue that's in this film. But the way they play it out, they take themselves seriously because in real life, you're not trying to be funny. It's just it happens. Like
Yeah.
my favorite, the most hilarious moments, like when Marty is oh, what is it? He's in that room, and then he's got the girl, and Doc walks in, and he's like, "Oh, that's Doc Brown." And then he looks at her, and he like looks back at Marty like he's confused, but also he's like, "Dude, shut up,
Yep.
quit talking."
Yep. Okay. There's something I would like more of. How did Doc and Marty become so close? There's something I would like to know because you got this old, mad scientist that's friends with a high school kid. Like how did that start? How did that come to be? Maybe that's something I would like to have seen.
There is an answer, but it's not in the film.
Right.
It's in like a comic that was written after the films were made. It's kind of like I don't know, just maybe like expanded lore some way. I don't know where you can find those things at. I watched the video yesterday, just to help me come up with questions because again I was nervous. This is something like the first thing I've ever done like this. But So, what was maybe what's a moment in the movie that means the most, or that you have like it's like the most relatable to you, or it's just it's a specific moment that you can get really personal with?
Man, I will always love the Earth Angel scene. When Marty's playing Earth Angel and he's disappearing, and you have Crispin Glover finally, hey, you, get your damn hands off her. And when, Biff's got him and he ends up doing the punch, like, I fucking love that shit. I love that so much. And like, I'm a huge Crispin Glover fan. Like, huge Crispin Glover fan. Like, I own his rap record. I've seen him in Willard. Every movie. If Crispin Glover's in it, I'm watching it. Like I said, when he released his record, I went out and bought it, and it's the craziest fucking record you'll ever listen to. But it's so great. Like it's so like it's like indie rock meets hip hop. Like, I don't know, I can't explain it, but it's you listen to it and you're like, yeah, this is Crispin Glover. That's what this is. It's Crispin Glover personified on a record. And I've always been like, when he walks into the diner, he's like, give me a milk, and he slams his hand down, he's like, chocolate. Give him the chocolate milk. That's a line I've used so many times throughout my life, or like, you're my density. I mean, you're my destiny. There's lines like that like I just use all the time for no reason.
Quotable movie. That's another thing I wrote down. It's one of the most quotable movies I think I've seen, especially with Biff talking to George.
Mm-hmm. Hello, McFly.
Yeah, there's so many lines.
Dude, and then like even I mean, God, man, like just like quotable lines from this movie. 1.21 gigawatts or gigawatts, as he says in the movie. 1.21 gigawatts.
He says gigawatts.
Yeah, he says gigawatts, but it's supposed to be gigawatts, but they didn't have a way to look that up, obviously. So he's
unintentional comedy, dude. Because he did that on purpose. Like, that was so funny.
Yeah, it's great. And then Are you trying to tell me my mom has the hots for me?
Yeah.
That's another one that I've said a lot throughout my life. This is heavy, Doc. He's like, what's wrong with the Earth's atmosphere in the future? The Earth's gravitational pull in the future. Why is everything so heavy? It's just one of those movies that I think is just so quotable. I mean, God, like, where we're going, we don't need roads. It's such a damn quotable movie, and that's another thing. Like I said, Earth Angel scene, huge for me. Like when you see Marty like starting to fall down, and he's like, "Come on, George," like you're almost there, and then he pops back up, and he's going right back through his chord progression. I think it's amazing, dude. Great Scott. Good one, Russell. Sandy's Guitar Lounge is in the chat. Sandy is a friend of mine. I grew up with Sandy. Talk about bands. Our bands used to play together as kids. One of the coolest cats in the world. I think me and him are going to go see, as long as my son's football doesn't interfere, they're re-releasing Back to the Future in IMAX. And me and Sandy are going to go check it out together in IMAX. He's a huge Back to the Future fan. It's something Sandy and I have always had in common. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, this is something that has meant a lot to me for a long time. And to see, friends that I've, grown up with, have it mean so much to them, and it's still, like, we can still talk about the greatness of this, that's incredible, man. I've said the 3 movies that can never, ever, ever be remade are Pee-wee's Big Adventure, because Paul's gone, Jaws, because it won't work, and Back to the Future, because it's completely unnecessary. Like, you can't remake any of those movies, man.
I got a weird take on that. I actually think you can remake Back to the Future, because to me, I mean, you've talked about this before. Sequels and prequels can hurt the original film, but a remake can't touch it. So I think if you was to have a remake, for like arguably one of the most perfect.
Say it again. Say it again. I mean, like I said, if they remade Back to the Future, I'd be there opening night.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I would rather see like a requel with like Marty's kids, like how we get to see them a little bit in the future, and Marty's kid ends up in jail, like in part 2. I would like to see something like that. If they were gonna do something, do a requel, because I don't think. What's up, Terrell?
What's up, dude?
I don't think you'd be able to touch the original even on a remake level. And this is one of those movies that I don't think you need a remake because, like we talked about before, it's perfect, and it's timeless. It's not like you can improve on this movie. And look at what this movie's done, not just like in a cultural way, but for laws. I mean, Crispin Glover is not in Back to the Future 2. But they completely stole his likeness and reused scenes from him in the first one for that movie. In Back to the Future 2, when you have the dad upside down, what they did is they did a prosthetic Crispin Glover over another guy and hung him upside down going throughout the house, so it looked like Crispin Glover. That's where like you have to have permission to get someone's likeness. Crispin Glover sued the shit out of them for Back to the Future 2. Yeah, and like I said, like, he didn't want to do it because he felt that the message of the first movie, and especially the script for the second movie, was just about like, hey, you can do whatever the fuck you want to fuck with time, and as long as you come back with riches, like in part 2, then everything's fine. And it was just insane. So they were like, okay, you're not going to do it. Well, then we're going to essentially steal your face. That was the AI. They covered the other guy's face to make him look like Crispin. And yeah, Crispin was like, hey, no. And sued the shit out of him, and he won. That's where that all came from, and good for him. And like I said, I love Back to the Future 2, but I get where he's coming from. I don't want to be a part of this. You can't use me. But they used a bunch of clips from him from the first movie and spliced Marty in from part 2, watching it from the background, and then literally stole his face for to put on another actor. It's crazy to me when you think of that shit. I knew Doc was going to have my back on that one.
No, y'all are haters. Whatever. Hey, look. I'm a remake champion. Okay, like if I had,
if we all felt the same way, man, this shit would be boring.
Yeah, very true. Very true. All right. Yeah, I just kind of want to touch on the chat a little bit, just see what's going on, because with StreamYard, I don't know how to like bounce back and forth. I don't have like a second monitor.
Oh, go ahead, man. Like if you're here from Sledgehammer Horror, this is Hayden's first time doing a live. I had the honor of being his first person on the channel to go live, so let's have some patience with him because we've all been there. We've all been doing this for our first time.
To maybe the 2 people, one of them being my dad, I think, who might not even be watching anymore from my channel. I will be having Sledge's stuff in the description, all of his socials, his YouTube channel, everything. So if you're from my end and you haven't subbed, even if you're from his end and you haven't subbed, go sub. It's a great channel, great content, and a really great guy. I'd actually done a video for Oh, really?
Yeah, I can never, because when Crispin sued them, I think he got like $750,000. Like he was pissed, dude. Like he was so mad. Because I didn't know this until like probably 10 years ago that he wasn't in part 2. There you go, Doc.
Yeah. Good little hangouts. No, that's okay, because like my first one that I did with my buddy Marcus over there at the Fantasy Zone, we covered The Last of Us Season 2 on my channel. We just did it on Google Chrome and like on the actual YouTube site, like not off of streaming software like this. So the StreamYard is way easier to run, and I'm really enjoying it. All right. Who is your favorite character in the film? You have so many to choose from.
Oh no!
There are some really popular choices. I'd say if I wasn't picking a main character, my main one would be Doc Brown. But if I wasn't picking a main character, I think mine would be Biff.
See, man, I gotta go George. I gotta go George McFly, because George McFly reminds me so much of me in middle school, first part of high school, like that awkward, really weird dude that no one wanted to hang out with because he read comic books and watched horror movies and listened to punk rock, and he was just this weird guy that was in love with this beautiful girl that he ended up getting over on and marrying and being with for the rest of his life. Like it just me and George McFly, the parallels between us, I think is so cool. And so I would have to go with George, man, because that like I said, that was me. That was a fucking dork, man. So I got to say George. He's my favorite.
That's like with what I was saying about relating earlier. I think the thing that I related to most, you was talking about Marty playing the guitar. I play guitar too, and when he's on stage and he's like escaping, and he literally just got his mom and dad like back together, and his dad finally confronts, I forget the guy's name, but he finally confronts that dude, and he hits him like, I can understand.
Oh, Biff. When he hits Biff.
Right. When he all that stress, yeah, Biff. All that stress that's relieved from him, and that escape zone that he goes into when he's playing that guitar, when he closes his eyes. No one in the crowd's enjoying it, by the way. But
right.
He's out, and then he quits, and he's like, "Yeah, y'all ain't ready for that. But your kids are gonna love it."
But your kids are gonna love it. See, that's another. I use that whenever I put out something that people they're like, "Oh, that was okay." I'm like, "Look, man, you guys just aren't ready for it, but your kids are gonna love it." Okay, like that's it. That's such a great line in this movie. Yeah, dude, like, oh my God, I'm gonna watch this movie again tonight. Like, I just watched it a couple nights ago, and now I'm gonna watch it again tonight after this.
Let's see. I love Marty, not just because people think
Doc looks just like Marty. Doc, you did a Marty Halloween costume / cosplay, if I remember correctly.
I've never thought you looked like Marty ever.
Oh, wait till you see them in their costume. You'll change your mind pretty quickly, Hayden. It's incredible. It's incredible.
All right. So I have some talking points here. I guess we're finally done with the questions that I had. I didn't really have any more. So just some talking points I wanted to hit. Actually, I want to go down to the bottom, the last one I wrote down, and that is the big plot hole. How do Marty's parents not recognize Marty? Now, I have my fix to that issue, but I wanted to know what you thought about that, if it's even a problem for you. Do you have a theory for it?
I mean, it's funny because, like, I could be the guy that's just like, it's a movie about time travel. You know what I mean? Like, it's not very realistic anyway. But, I mean, obviously that doesn't sit well with me because, I mean, like, as a man, you know, George McFly is going to be looking at Marty like, this looks a lot like Calvin, you know? Like, he looks a whole lot like Calvin Klein. What the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean? Like talking to his wife, like, why does he look like that guy that we knew in high school? Like, identical to that guy. He even talks like the fucking guy. But again, it's just one of those things where I think, you also got to remember, it takes place in 1955. By the time Marty, it's over 18 years later by the time they actually have Marty at that age. It wasn't social media everywhere where they could constantly stare at somebody's pictures. They knew the guy for like 3 days, man. You know what I mean? Like, in the grand scheme of things, they didn't know him as well as, like, it's implied. So I don't think they're going to remember the guy from 25 years ago because they had 2 kids before Marty. Remember, Marty's the youngest. So, you know, that guy from 25 years ago, he's not going to be like, that looks exactly like him. You know what I mean? So I think that in the grand scheme, obviously it's so memorable because we've seen the movie so many times, but to them, they've literally seen this guy, like, once. You know what I mean? For, like, a span of 3 days, they knew this guy. So I don't think it's as big of a deal. But it is funny to think about. You know, George being like, hey, that motherfucker right there looks so familiar. Where have I seen him before? You know, like...
That's like the thing I put with it is, for one, I don't care. I could not care less about that plot hole because it's not a plot hole to me. But to kind of have an answer for it would be that they do remember Calvin Klein, and that they're probably always maybe thankful for him. They just have no reason to talk about that part of their lives. Like you said, it's like 3 days to spend
Right.
like 48 hours for them. Like they don't. Why would they ever mention that? And then if you're going off of looks, again, it was like 3 days. I doubt that they remember that much of the guy.
Right. 25 years later. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is a bit of a stretch. And like I said, it's not like there was Facebook where they had pictures of the guy all over Facebook.
Yeah.
So that to me is why it's like, it's not that big of a deal to me. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't keep me up at night.
Acres of movies. Your favorite Michael J. Fox movie, other than this movie. My favorite one would be Teen Wolf, but I don't really remember a lot of it. So it tells you how many I've seen.
I have to go with, and this is all because of Doc, and Doc knows what I'm going to say, because Doc showed me this movie for the first time. I'm going with The Frighteners. I know that Doc is also a huge fan of The Frighteners, and it's because of Doc that I watched it. It's funny, because Doc was like, dude, you're going to love The Frighteners. And I was like, okay, and I have such faith in them that night I bought the movie. Like, I got online, I bought the movie. Ashley and I watched it, and we just loved it. Like, we loved it so much. So, yeah, let's go. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, Doc totally introduced me and Ashley to Frighteners, and I love it. I genuinely love it. I think it's fantastic. It's funny. It's scary. I had such a great time with it. So thank you, Doc. Really appreciate that you showed me a movie that I truly, truly love and enjoy, enough to be my second favorite Michael J. Fox movie. Oh, Doc Hollywood. There you go. There's another one.
This is my dad, by the way.
Hey, what's up, man? Nice to screen meet you.
Screen me, yeah. All right, so we kind of went into the editing earlier, and when I was mentioning how timeless this movie was, there is some CGI in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is it done very well in post-production, but the lighting in this movie on this past watch is something that I found really intriguing. The way that the lights used for moods is something that a lot of films, when they go for a mood, they might use like a film filter. Not much on light unless it's really dense and sad. They might bring some darker elements to it, but this movie is strictly like a light show almost, especially with like the DeLorean. I mean, there's so many things. That's just
I think a big part of that too for me is like this movie does what I say horror movies should do when it comes to CGI is
in the dark.
you use your practical effects as your mashed potatoes and your CGI is your salt and pepper. Your main course is your mashed potatoes. That your practical effects. That's your main course. But you just season it just a little bit with the salt and pepper. Like you put just a little bit of seasoning on it, and it's perfect. If you put too much seasoning, your potatoes are going to taste like shit. But if you just do a regular amount of seasoning on your amazing potatoes, your practical effects, your CGI will look fucking awesome.
I guess the southern in me got excited. You said mashed potatoes, and I thought you were going to say gravy. You just said salt and pepper.
He's like, this piece of shit. Hold on, man. Are we going dark gravy? Are we going turkey gravy? What kind of gravy you putting on your potatoes?
All of it.
See, I'm a dark gravy guy. Yeah, I've always been a dark gravy. I'm not a turkey gravy guy. This doesn't do anything for me.
Really?
No, never been a turkey gravy guy. I've got to have dark gravy.
You should. Dude, I'll sit here and talk about food. We gotta stop. All right. So for a movie that went through all the production hell that we slightly touched on with like the casting choices that got switched, the fact that they even shot a decent portion of the film, and then they just kind of picked up and started over. Or at least that's what I read. I don't know how true that is. I know. At least the tracking shot with Marty when he's walking into the room, it's not Marty or it's not Michael J. Fox until you actually see him and he goes for the guitar. Um,
There's a lot of shots in this movie that actually still have Eric Stoltz, from what I've heard. Again, these are all rumors, but
right. So like I said, I don't know how true all this is, but from what I understand, a decent portion of this movie was already filmed and shot with the Stoltz guy. Um, so where was I going with that? Oh, again, all the production hell that it went through, it's still an amazing film. To me, there's no doubting this movie. Like I said, it may not be in my top 10 or whatever, but it's still undoubtedly a great, wonderful, almost perfect movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and that's the thing. Like, I think that goes to show all the people and how much they love the on set. Like, I can't talk enough about what they did on set, for how fun they had and how serious the set was at the same time. They were just into it, man, and I think that's so incredible.
It's one of the best set stories I've heard where, you'll see, especially like me, I buy Blu-rays to watch the special features. I like the behind the scenes. Special features suck nowadays. They don't show you anything.
Yeah.
All you do is grab a phone camera, go around the crew. Hey, we had so much fun filming this, bye, and then that's it. And they might show you a 5-minute gag reel. But this is like one of those set stories that wasn't a horror story, even though they went through production hell.
Yeah.
Everyone loved each other. Everyone had fun. It was legit like being back in high school. It's like they all went back in time.
Yes.
Was awesome to me.
Dude, and like I can't argue any of this, because you see, oh my gosh, this damn thing. You see what they all went through. But yet you still have people that talk so fondly of being on this set and what this set meant to them. And that to me is another testament of how great this movie is. And I still think, like Bob Gale, Robert Zemeckis. Robert Zemeckis directed a horror movie that I think is one of the most underrated horror movies of all time, and that's What Lies Beneath. I think that's one of the most underrated horror movies of all time. Oh, dude, you got to check it out. It's got Harrison Ford. Don't look into this movie at all. Like, don't watch a trailer, nothing. It's got Michelle Pfeiffer, Harrison Ford. It's the Psycho of the 2000s. Like, that's all I'm going to say. It's such, me and Ashley are both, Ashley, I think it's in her top 10 favorite horror movies of all time.
Text it to me, because I want to look it up and actually accidentally say something. So just if you know something, send it to me.
I'm texting you right now. That way you can check it out. And Bob Gale, like, he had a pinball company. I don't know if you know that. Bob Gale had he was a huge game geek, like a huge game nerd, and he owned a pinball company. And they ended up making a video game that was called Tattoo Assassins. And it was like their answer to Mortal Kombat. And it's like the craziest game. And it's directed by Bob Gale. And you can do a fatality in the movie where you crush somebody with a DeLorean. Like, it's so crazy. Like, all these things, like, growing up, obviously huge Mortal Kombat fan. Growing up, huge horror fan. So What Lies Beneath, oh man, you gotta check this movie out, because I need to know what you think of this movie.
I'm definitely going to now. This is a really fun question. No, not that one. Hold on. He just had one. Okay, right here. Imagine if Back to the Future was a horror film. Let's do that. Let's imagine if Back to the Future was a horror film real quick. Let's go.
We don't have to. Have you seen Totally Killer?
Okay, you're right.
For those of you that haven't, I'm putting it in the chat. Watch Totally Killer. Totally Killer is what would happen if Back to the Future was a horror movie.
And that's it's like the instead of like a boy, it's girl, and it's got Olivia Holt.
Another movie that Ashley and I loved this movie. Like, we went into this movie like totally, like, we knew nothing about it. We went in on the recommendation of James and Chelsea from Dead Meat. Like, hey, watch Totally Killer. Okay, let's watch it. And we watched it, and I laughed, I cried, I it is Back to the Future as a horror film. This girl is going back to the past to try to. Thanks, Andy. She's going back to the past to try to save people from this slasher killer, and it's so incredible. I want to say it's streaming free on Shudder. Let me look. On Amazon Prime. It's free on Prime.
Okay.
Man, she travels back to 1987, determined to stop a killer before he can start, and it's so good, so good.
Yeah, I really like Totally Killer. I watched it when it came out. And then they had another one. Came out not too long after Totally Killer, and it was basically. I mean, you can say it's a ripoff, I guess, even though I've heard that the one that came out was. It was in production before Totally Killer, actually, but it's nowhere near the movie Totally Killer is.
Sure.
I'm sure maybe someone knows what I'm talking about. I don't. It was so forgettable. Anyway, dang. Oh, the charm in this movie. Let's talk about the heart, the story, and the charm, and how something that on paper, like you said, they pitched this movie to Disney, and Disney turned it down because like almost an incest aspect to it.
Sure.
On paper, the charm of this cast and how great this director is what makes the movie work. That's what I'm saying. Like, you take this exact script and hand it to someone else, and it would look like you're mocking something or making fun of. This movie, though, it knows how to handle it. It takes a really rough and weird subject. Like, also the foreshadowing in this movie, like when the movie opens, already walking through the room, and then he walks right past petroleum or whatever, petroleum or whatever it was that Doc needed that he stole.
Uranium,
yeah. What was I thinking about? And then you get his mother telling the story about how they meet, and then he goes back to the past, and then of course he ends up in his dad's position because he tries saving his dad. He's trying to cut his dad a break. He was trying to be like, they've been through a lot, and anytime
plutonium. What? It's not uranium. It's plutonium. Plutonium. That's what it was.
It was like a mix of both.
Yeah, we added it together. Yeah. I'm sitting here like, uranium's not right. Why am I thinking uranium? It's plutonium.
Yeah, no, I said petroleum, like petroleum jelly. But yeah, I just think that this movie does really well with its foreshadowing, and how charmful the cast is what makes this movie work. The acting by Michael J. Fox and him. He's clearly it's not like he like tries to kiss his mom or anything in high school. It's just that he's actually trying to do the opposite. He's trying to like push her away, and then when he finds out that what interacting with his mom's going to mess up his future, and he sees his brothers disappearing in the photos, he's like, okay, well, I really got to try to fix these two up again. There's so much heart and just love, charm, all of it.
And it's actually the opposite, man, because like when she kisses him, even she's like, it felt like kissing my brother. So it shows that like even if you don't know your family, like that that's not, you know what I mean? So I think that this is like I don't think that it's obviously hinted at a sexualization there, but there's no sexualization at all because they're both just like that sucked. That was really weird.
Definitely not by him. It's nothing. He doesn't take 1 foot forward. The only thing he takes is he acknowledges, dang, my mom is smoking back in the day. And that's kind of all he says, but that's very comedic. It's
right.
I've always thought it was a little weird. You're supposed to. If you don't, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to touch on about Back to the Future before we slightly tap in on Back to the Future 1 and 2? Because I don't know anything about those other than what I barely remember.
I mean, like, for me, it goes in order. My favorite's 1. I love 2. I love 3. I just love that each movie they were able to bring back everybody, except obviously George. But, how Biff came back, how they, Red Dog Tannen, Like there's so much about 2 and 3 that I think are awesome too, but they're never going to touch part 1 to me. I think this is the greatest trilogy of all time. If you're talking about just a straight 3-movie trilogy, this to me is the best trilogy of all time. Like people are like the trilogy is Lord of the Rings, the trilogy is Star Wars. For me, it's like the trilogy is Back to the Future, man. Like that's the trilogy.
I don't argue with anybody who says, one of the other. I've never seen Lord of the Rings, but that's the one I actually hear the most about the best trilogy. I would lean way more towards like Back to the Future being the best trilogy. Films. I don't think that there was another movie that came out in the 80s that was so successful in every sequel. I've heard
Right.
things like, 2 and 3 aren't as rewatchable. They're not as memorable, or they're definitely not as favorited or as talked about. But it is the most consistent franchise I think ever made.
Yes.
In any genre, you can take all the genres and throw them together, and this one probably is the most consistent.
And because they were filmed so close together.
And again, they're old and in the 80s. What other movie series do you know that was started in the 80s, continued, and did great?
Right. I have to go grab my daughter real quick. She's outside. If you want to catch up on the chat, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's see here. Hey, my boy Marcus is here. Yeah. I barely remember. Hey, y'all, go subscribe to the Fantasy Zone. He is absolutely awesome. He is the dude I call my brother in this space. He's the one that I actually did the Last of Us live streams together with. So y'all go check him out and subscribe. Especially, he does movie reviews, news, all kinds of stuff over there. So y'all go sub to him. Back to the Future 1 through 3 is an annual must watch. LOL. Yeah, I know, but it's like I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to watching new releases so frequently. But then an opportunity like this came, and I was like, I'm a swing for it. You might be right, only because George Lucas made the prequels. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, my dad agreed. What Lies Beneath is a great movie. All right. Well, feels so great. Why didn't you show me? All right. I think that's about it. I can kind of scroll up a little more, answer some questions I might have missed way early on. Let's see. If they would remake Back to the Future, I could see Tom Holland maybe playing Marty McFly. That would probably definitely be their pick. I'm not even lying. And I'm not even sure if I can disagree with it, just because Tom Holland's charming. He's a great actor, emotional chops, funny. But I don't know. I'm sure not many people would like seeing that, because there is a little bit of, kind of like with Pedro Pascal, how people are like tired of seeing him. I think that Tom Holland's kind of in the same boat. I'm not, though. Let's see. Excuse me. Oh no, dude, you are absolutely good. You're totally fine. I try to show you everything. Well, do better, I guess. You need to go back to the past, and you need to show me some movies. That way, when I come back, I'm fixed. I know these things. Favorite scene in part 2? I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, it was a while ago. Like I'm 22. The last and first time I watched this part two movie was then, and that was in seventh grade. So I don't really remember a whole lot to have a favorite. I'll keep this question saved though for Ken whenever he gets back. Lies Beneath is awesome. Damn, you too.
Sorry about that, brother.
Oh, dude, you're completely good. This dude, Phoenix is on. I've told you about him before. That's my buddy Marcus. He's the one I did the last of us live streams with.
What's up, brother?
Acres know what is your favorite scene in part two. I told them that I don't probably remember it.
My favorite scene of part two is when he thinks he gets the sports almanac back and he opens it up and it's the Playboy, essentially, but it's called Ooh La La. And he's just like, Ooh La La, Ooh La La. Like that me and my little brother used to quote that shit all the time to each other. Either that or when older Biff is watching everything that's going on and he's like, there's something very familiar about all this. Like that's another one that like I quote all the time.
I kind of remember. I think I remember something like that. I don't know. There's so many. Like there's a bunch of scenes that I know and remember, but I don't know what's two and what's three. That's kind of my issue.
Sure.
I watch them back to back. Oh hell, what's better, Lethal Weapon or True Lies?
I'm not an action movie fan, but if I had to choose between those two, I'm going Lethal Weapon.
I am one of the biggest Lethal Weapon fans ever. Lethal Weapon is definitely in my top 10. Most of my top 10 is like cop movies, buddy cop, no matter what. That's my genre actually. I had to
Yeah.
be honest with you. Yeah, Lethal Weapon all the way, and I've never seen True Lies. So, let me get my
Pick me up, James.
right. I told him he was like he should have done better for showing me the movie you sent me.
What Lies Beneath?
Yeah. He said he should have done better, and I said, well, go back to the past and fix it.
Ben, there's there are so many movies out there. We can't show our kids all the greats, man.
Lethal Weapon all day. Yep. All right. Is there anything you want to touch on? We're gonna go ahead and kind of push this on to part two, maybe three together. Is there anything you want to talk about with those? I don't have anything down.
Not really. I mean, we got to talk a little bit about Crispin suing, which I think was very important. Even with the SAG, with the Screen Actors Guild, they put their best feet forward after that to make sure that everybody was on the same page on all of that. So I think that was the best thing that could have happened under those circumstances. So it was they were able to do amazing things now for what happened back then.
Yeah, I can tell that Crispin not being in those films, that is one thing that I can see definitely bothers you. They were talking in the chat earlier when you walked. I went back and answered some questions, and they were talking about who might could possibly play Marty McFly in a remake. Someone said Tom Holland. I was like, yeah, but there's a bit of a public fatigue with him because I've seen a lot of him here recently. Same like Pascal. But my dad just said this, and I think I'm going to block him from the chat.
Austin Butler's he's good. Wasn't he just in that mafia-like movie where he's fighting everybody? Am I thinking of the right cat?
Yes.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I mean, maybe a little old for the role.
Not for Marty. Nothing about him says Marty. Austin is too damn cool. Even though Marty McFly is cool, Marty McFly is very fly, but there's almost like a punk rock cool, and then there's like Marty McFly cool, and Austin Butler just isn't there.
Yeah.
He can do Elvis cool. He can't do Marty McFly cool. I don't know. I think honestly, like what you said with the remake, I think that maybe some people could benefit from it. It wouldn't affect the original, but I think that it'd be impossible to even come to even do anything to a generation the way Back to the Future did, it'd be impossible. And no
Yeah.
one would do that.
The only way I'll be okay with it is if I get to play George.
Yeah. Hey, but you gotta sit in front of the TV too and do the laugh.
Yep, man. Well, I'm telling you, I could easily, like, dude, for the amount of times in my life that I've done the "Hey, you, get your damn hands off her," like, I could totally pull that off, man. Come on, Spielberg, buy the rights and let me do it.
Right.
I think I could do Biff too. I think I could be enough of a dick to be Biff. Mix Jason and Back to the Future. Oof.
Hey,
I mean, that's
just throw a picture in there. That's all you need.
right. Just have him going and attacking everybody in the past. I would love it.
Tom Holland would be great if dude, this font's throwing me off. Tom Holland would be great if they made it right now, but time is running out.
Yeah, right. They would end up doing like Chris Pratt. That's what they would end up going with, like Chris Pratt or I don't know, somebody like that. It's like dude's 40, playing.
Especially with like the body style he's got right now, he's pretty husky. Like that he took, he's husky, and he's got the long hair going. He does have like a little more like McFly look to him, but
Right.
I don't know. All right, so I guess we can. Is there anything else at all you want to touch on?
No, man.
All right, so we can keep talking about it if you want to. I just don't have like.
No, we're totally good.
All right. Well, something else I wanted to discuss, and I guess we'll go ahead and talk about this is the Black Phone. You being a horror channel, I want to know your quick thoughts on the first film. Maybe tell me like your experience. Did you like it? What did you not like about it? Yeah, the first movie.
The first movie was my second favorite film the year it came out, which I want to say was 2021. It was my, I swear that was 2022. Hold on a second.
It was premiered in 21. I went through this whole debacle. It was premiered in 21, but it was released in 22.
There you go. Yeah, because it came out on Ashley's birthday in 2022. And the only other movie, it came out June 24th. That was pissing me off. I was like, ain't no way. The only other movie I liked more that year was Barbarian. That was the only movie that topped it.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think that movie's fantastic. I think that it's still, it never ceases to amaze me what C. Robert Cargill and Scott Derrickson can do together. Like they just does. It never ceases to amaze me. And I love what they were able to do with the Black Phone. Mason Thames was so damn good. Madeline McGraw is just so good. Jeremy Davies.
That crying scene with McGraw, she is the best crier in Hollywood, I swear to God.
Dude, yes.
It's almost traumatic how, like, as an audience member watching her get her ass whooped in the first movie, like, that was just way too, I said in my review, I think I said, that felt a little too method, how real her crying was. Like,
dude, what's even crazier about it is, like, Jeremy Davies, the guy that plays her dad in that scene, one of the nicest, sweetest men in real life. Like, he's so soft-spoken and kind and very appreciative with his time. And like, maybe Ashley and I are a little biased because we've gotten to interview Madeline a couple times, and we've gotten to interview Jeremy Davies. We've gotten to, spend time with these people. So it really does skew sometimes, I think, the way that you look at things when you're friends with people like that. And I wouldn't even say we're friends, but when you're on a friendly, basis with somebody. When we saw Madeline at Horror Hound, she remembered us from the Robbie Ain't Right No More interview. It's like when you get to be on that level, it really does, skew your way you're thinking about it because, you're hearing the stories. Like, she was telling us that she got to do her own stunts for the Black Phone, too, and how excited she was to do her own stunts. And So yeah, it skews it a little bit, but I still think the Black Phone and the Black Phone 2 are so, I mean, like, fuck, dude, like, my shit's sitting right here. You know, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I love this shit. I love, you got the heart, see, we got a rubber one that we got made for us when the first one came out.
See, like, I make a bunch of stuff. Like, I made I'll pull this out real quick. So I made that Jason mask. I went and bought
That's
one of these
sick.
white ones, and like I put texture on it and painted it. I put the cut in it and everything. And so I've got this cheap grabber mask from Walmart and was going to do the same thing. I have the bottom somewhere, but
I love that hard plastic. I love that because I think the grabber could be a horror icon on the level of what Art the Clown is if we get that type of exposure. Because Art the Clown, I would say, is the horror icon of today. Of right now. But I think the grabber could be up there, especially with what they were able to do with this one, man. And something I want so bad. Everybody in the chat, everybody watching this on a replay, remember this because I want this so bad, and I will love you forever. I want a grabber mask that's got like the ice on it. You know what I mean? Like the ice.
Yeah.
I think that would be so fucking sick. Like, oh my God, man. And like, 'cause we went with our 17-year-old. Kenny went with us to see this, and if you watched our review, you caught it. He gave it a 6-7 out of 10, little bastard.
Dude, stop. I'm tired of the damn 6-7 shit, dude. My girlfriend's been saying it the whole time. We go to her parents' house, and her sister's over there 6-7, and my family comes over. My sisters do the same thing.
Dude, I didn't even realize he did it until I believe you're the first one that commented on it.
Yeah, I said, ain't no way he did that.
And I read your comment, and I go into his room, and I was like, what did you give the Black Phone? And he looked at me and smiled, and I was like, you little dick. Like, you got me. But we went and seen the first one together, so we went and seen this one, and even he's telling me, like, on the ride home, he's like, Dad, my favorite part of that movie is when the grabber's like, hell isn't fire, it's ice. Nothing burns like the cold. And I'm like, you're right. Hey, thank you, Fantasy. And I want to promote something real quick. This Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, join us to do our watch-along of Welcome to Derry. We're gonna start right at 9 when it premieres, and we want you all to be there to watch with us for the first time. So this Sunday at 9 p.m., we will be doing that. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m., Chloe and I are going to start doing Sledgehammer Gaming again. So tomorrow at 7 o'clock, we are going to start on House of Ash. We are actually going to finally get back into that game, start it from the beginning, because Chloe's really excited to do that one. So make sure you're joining us tomorrow, and then make sure you're joining us Sunday for our watch-along of Welcome to Derry. I'm so excited to be able to do this with you guys.
Dude, this is awesome. Yeah. I am beyond excited for Welcome to Derry.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard what was it? Where was I listening? Oh, Cody's podcast, the Lost in the Shadows. If you don't listen to that, please go listen to that. It's great.
Please do.
But he said that he got the first 5 episodes of Welcome to Derry, and I legit got pissed and like got off the podcast. I was like, "Nah, this is fake." No, he didn't. I've never been that jealous of like a scoop in my life.
Well, and it's one of those things where like, I'm trying to word this the best way I can without sounding weird. I think it's natural for us to feel some type of jealousy when something like that happens as fellow creators. But at the same time, like, nobody's more deserving than him. He's a great friend of mine, great friend of the channel, and he's just a great guy. And watching him succeed, it's so fucking rad, dude. Like, no one deserves it more than that guy. He's so good, and he works so hard. Like, he's one of the hardest working dudes in the community. So, you got to give it up. He's putting out like 4 or 5 videos a week. Like he's incredible. He's a workhorse, whether it's this or the podcast or, he does a lot of cooking videos that he does for his members and Patreon people. And so, I mean, like, he's just
like those pizza burgers. They're so good.
Some good shit, man. Yeah, he's like I said, he's one of the true, genuine good dudes in the community. And so when I hear stuff like that, obviously a part of me is like, man, fuck him. But at the same time, it's like, no, that's my dude. I'm totally kidding. I don't ever really think that. There is a jealousy of, God, I wish I got that. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? If anybody deserves it, it's him. He works his ass off.
It's like a happy jealousy. It's like,
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I had that, but I'm really happy you had it. Like,
Right.
because it's
See,
we're a community. We're not like I mean, I guess in a certain sense, like it's kind of competitive. 'Cause you got to make
but at
it.
the same time, it's like a friendly competitive. It's like when you're playing your cousin in a football game. You want to beat him, but you want him to do really good too. You know what I mean? Like it's like that. It's like a friendly competition. And Cody knows how I feel about him. Kanan, Ghost Pirate, he knows how I feel. Sean knows how I feel. Drum Dums, Lee, he knows how I feel. And this is what I love about our community. Like when the Ed Gein stuff was coming out, and I made a video about how Ashley, I won't be covering it because it's real life horror.
I think of that a lot.
Yeah, well, Lee from Drum Dums, he covered it, and I said, Lee did a great video. He was, did his stuff, and Lee hits me up, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I just want to let you know, like, I appreciate that," and I'm like, "Of course, dude, I love you. I look up to you, and I'm really happy that you covered it, and like." People want YouTubers and you reviewers to beef way more than we ever want it to happen. Because that was one of the biggest things. Oh, well, Drum Dums did it. Good for Lee. I'm glad he did. We're different people. I respect him. I watched his video. I'm not saying people shouldn't cover it. I'm just saying that Ashley and I won't. That's and I don't want to say that. I don't talk for Ashley. Ashley agreed with me. I wasn't like, Ashley, we're not covering this, and you're good. Come on. I was like, how do you feel? And she was like, I don't think we should cover it either. This is her channel too.
That's
So
I won't cover Jeepers Creepers. I will happily review it because I'm not gonna give attention to that video is, but and I would always make it clear. I understand the history behind it. However, I watched the movie. I legit grew. That's one that I legit grew up with.
And again, just like I've said before, like if people do cover things that we won't cover, it's not like we're like, oh, you're a shitty person, or oh, what the hell's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, go ahead. Like, I hope you do. I hope it's successful. I hope people love it. But we're not going to. Like, that's all we're saying. I'm not talking bad about anybody that doesn't want to or that does want to on certain things. But it's different creators have different things that they are going to do, and that's it. Period. I don't look down on anybody that cover Jeepers Creepers.
Exactly.
That movie means a lot to a lot of people. Let them cover it.
We'll go ahead and get off that topic, and we'll get on the last one real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, I'm having fun doing this. What did you think about Black Phone 2? What was your experience with it?
This is going to be spoiler free, obviously.
No, we know. Spoil it. I'm sorry.
You want me to spoil it?
I want spoilers, dude. I should have put something up there. Yeah, we're gonna spoil it.
Okay, I'm spoiling the Black Phone 2, guys. So if you haven't seen it, it's that time. So I had one major problem with the movie, and it's the death of the mom from the first one, and how me and you have obviously had a long conversation about this, and we don't see eye to eye on it, which again is fine. Me and Hayden aren't beefing because we have we disagree on a plot point of a movie. But man, there's so much good about it. Like when the grabber takes his mask off, and the blood all over his face. I thought, and the practical effects were good. And I'm trying to get Ashley to come back and talk Black Phone 2 with us real quick.
Do you think the mask gives him powers? I liken the mask a lot to Freddy's glove. At least
I think so, because even if you look at the first one, when his mask comes off, he's covering his face. Like he's scared when that happens. So I think to a point, I don't know if it gives him powers, but I think it's kind of like Michael, where like he doesn't feel good without his mask on. Like if he doesn't have his mask, he's terrified. If he doesn't have his mask, he's not the grabber. He's Bill at that moment. So I think that the mask makes it so that he can be the grabber instead of being Bill. And I think that's super important to him as Bill. But again, it's one of those things where I could be totally off base, and maybe if we get a part 3, we'll be able to talk more about it. It's just one of those things where I think we're gonna have to wait until we get a part 3.
Yeah. Going to what Well, no, I'm trying to think because a part of me loves what happens to the grabber in part two at the end. You know, like Mason Thames, he even talks about it in real life where whenever he's smashing his head down, he actually, like, he said he took anger out, like, because, you know, Mason can't see him no more. But he can feel him.
Yeah.
So in the movie when they're filming it, he's like not actually doing anything. He's just like kind of ghosting it. He said he just had to let his anger go, and that was actually like his blood on the ice and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. But as far as the end, what I was mentioning about the mask, you know, like he loses the mask and then he's weak, and that's why the kids are always able to take over him. Um, but when they go to put him back in the hole, the first thing the grabber does is grabs his mask.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go to kick the bottom part back in. Why? Why are you giving him his mask? Honestly,
See, but
trophy.
because I want them to be able to continue the story, but I want them to continue it logically. I feel like this was a logical continuation here, but at the same time, how are you going to do it again? Like, are you going to say there was another camp that he was involved? You know what I mean? Like, I just want to see. I don't want him to come back like that, Stewie. I think that the way he's coming back right now as like a Freddy type figure is perfect. But I would like to see more grabber. We didn't get to see him actually kill anybody in this film.
Yes.
All the kills we've seen were flashbacks.
That's my biggest negative. I
You know, so
But if you go to the first film, you don't see any of that either.
right, it's all flashbacks. So I would like to see like the grabber have like a really good killing spree. I also want. Did you know the guy that played Robin also played the little brother in this movie? That's the same actor.
I went into this movie damn near blind, and I knew that. I was like, it felt like I'm the only person that
Did
knew
it, man?
I watched everyone's review, and no one knew that. And I was like, I knew that immediately, and knew that they were bringing him back because I was like, I probably won't watch the movie if he's not in it because I just love the actor.
Yeah, he was great. He was showing some good range, you know, going from those two different roles.
Unrecognizable. Clearly, he is so transformative with his roles and his acting because nobody knew. It's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm one of the nobodies. Like I had no clue.
I was like, I wouldn't have known if I wasn't like making sure the actor was in it somehow. I was wanting the ghost, but
Of Robin, yeah.
getting his little brother was better. What I also wish would have happened was I wish Robin would have been like a stand-in, like whenever you know, at the end she gives that phone call to her mom and she tells him, you know, Robin says, "Hey, it'd have been cool if the camera cut to Finney and like Robin standing behind him." Blurred.
That would have been sweet.
It'd have been blurred, like almost silhouette of Robin behind him, but that
Right.
was, a commentary on like angels watching over you or whatever.
Yeah, I would have dug that.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably gonna have to get off here. I think I'm getting hungry and I'm ready to eat.
You're totally good, man. I got daughters yelling for me to read bedtime stories. So, dude, I want to say it one more time for people that are watching this on playback, or if you're here right now from Sledgehammer Horror, please make sure you're subscribing to Hayden Cinema. Like I said, it's we just did My First Horror Movie together. Love the guy. Make sure you're checking his stuff out. He's definitely deserving of it. So please make sure you're doing that. And thank you for joining us tonight, guys. We had a lot of fun.
And if you're watching on my channel, please go subscribe to Sledge. I have their stuff down in the descriptions, all their socials, their YouTube. What is coming up other than like my first horror movie on your channel? What else do y'all have?
Yeah. This week, tomorrow, we have our interview with Tom Schrader. He was the composer from The Dark and the Wicked and the new movie Vicious. Friday is the Man in the White Van review, which blew me away how much I really enjoyed that movie. And then Monday is our My First Horror Movie with Hayden Baker. So we'll be talking about House of a Thousand Corpses. And then, like I said, tomorrow night, Chloe and I will be doing our video game live stream, Sledgehammer Gaming. We'll be going tomorrow with House of Ashes. And then Sunday, we want you guys all to join Ashley and I for our watch-along of Welcome to Derry. That's something we're very excited about. So yeah, that's what we have coming up in the next week.
I am trying to finish editing my top 10 slasher movies ever made. That is hopefully by the end of this week. That is what I'm going to be having coming out. I got the idea from this really great guy, Sully Streams. Really awesome dude. So y'all go check him out. But yeah, that's where I got the idea from. It was a really fun video. But other than that, that's all I have. I had such a great conversation with you.
It was amazing, man. Meant a lot.
I hope you have a good night. I hope you in the chat have a good night. I hope you enjoy watching this just as much as we enjoy making it for you. And I'll see y'all next time.